Dude.
Hello, sir. So
I heard you made history.
Say that again.
I heard that you made history.
And what history did I make?
You were the first man to give birth to a baby born in December 2018. Okay? And
2017.
2017. What did
Yes.
20?
Yes.
No,
Very
2017.
important for tax
2017.
All right. So,
Yes.
how did you accomplish that feat, sir?
Yes, because we see in our notes here that Paul Hirsh had a baby.
Yes.
I did. Yes,
Yes.
had a baby.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that. Modern
Yes.
science these
Yes.
days, they'll do wonders. It was actually my wife had the baby.
Yes, congratulations.
At
What
first
is the
assuming it's
name?
mine.
Healthy?
Julian Lewis Hirsch. Everyone
Right.
is
Julian.
healthy,
There he
happy.
is. Look.
Well,
No, that's
there he is.
Oscar. That can't
That's
be
Oscar
Julian.
with
That's
with-
Oscar
Oh,
holding
that's
the baby.
Julian. Oh, I see the baby
Yeah,
now.
that's Oscar
Okay,
holding.
I know Oscar.
That's Oscar holding Julian.
I see. I didn't see the
All right.
baby there. I
So
just saw
cute.
the big blonde,
Yes,
So cute.
he gets his hair
Yeah.
from me.
So cute.
It's okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So, in any event, you are a former. There he is. Born
There he is.
December 19, 2018. It's amazing in the future. This is
All right.
like Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yes.
in the Terminator.
Yeah.
So,
But what else, seriously,
Look,
I want to say congratulations, man.
Thank you. To be clear, though, it's 2017. It's important
Yes.
for tax
purposes, yes.
that it's 2017.
Paul's a former district attorney in Brooklyn, and
Yeah, I
in
know.
Manhattan and Brooklyn, they announced yesterday that their offices are no longer going to seek bail for most non-felony cases. It's a huge development in criminal justice. You want to talk about it a little bit? Why give bail in the first place, and why is this a big development?
Well, bail was essentially a vehicle to ensure that people return to court. What in reality it did was it forced poor people and people of color who couldn't afford to pay that bail to be stuck in jail while their minor cases slowly ratcheted through the criminal justice system.
So you were,
And
you,
so
you-
basically-
yeah. Go ahead.
So basically, they were jailing people before they were found guilty of a crime.
And people stayed in jail for years. And I know you as a former district attorney, because this is your job. You know what? They can't afford bail. They're sitting in jail. They're going to end up pleading guilty to something, even if they may not be guilty. But it's not your job whether they're guilty or not. The district attorney's job is get the guilty plea. Right?
Correct. I mean, if the judge set bail and they want to take a plea and admit their guilt, that's on them.
That's your job.
The problem was,
Right.
people were taking pleas because they were getting out of jail faster than if they fought their case.
Now, New Jersey eliminated
Yeah,
it
they
about a
did.
year ago, right?
Right, they did.
Right? So
Yes.
what happened in Jersey? Yeah, I mean, I assume we'll see the same thing in New York. What
Yeah.
happened in Jersey?
Did they see a change in their prison population
Well,
after they got rid of the
there
bail?
There are just more processes involved. There's more personal guarantees. There are more, hey, if you don't show up to jail, if you don't show up to court, you owe a certain amount of money, things of that nature. So there's punishments and repercussions for not showing up, as opposed to losing $300 or whatever.
Right. So in other words, the punishment happens after you don't show up to bail,
Correct.
not pay us to get out of jail.
Correct.
All right. And how is this
So
going to affect?
it's a big reform. It's a big deal. It affects a lot of people, and you'll see a big change in how low-level cases are prosecuted in the city.
I was just going to ask you how it's going to affect your clients.
Yeah. They'll look, now they have an ability to assist their defense from the outside where it's meaningful, where we can track down witnesses and visit crime scenes and review documents. It's very difficult to do that when your clients are locked up at Rikers Island.
But you know what I'm thinking, sorry to interrupt here, Brad. And I want everybody out there right now, if you're watching us on Facebook, please share this, because this is a criminal defense area. And I know a lot of people out there saying, I'm not going to get in trouble with the law. You never know. Sometimes trouble come looking for you. And this is a good criminal defense attorney we have here at Spar and Bernstein. But I want to ask you something. Why was bail originally created? Many believe, in my opinion and others, that it was literally created to oppress the poor.
And it very well might have been, and it probably was. I mean, how else do you ensure someone comes to court unless you're gonna put some type of
No. What Squeeze is saying is that he feels it was put in place to affect the poor, because whether you're rich or poor, you got the same bail.
Exactly.
I mean,
Thank you for clearing that up.
So I mean, that's the point. There was no really, they're supposed to, I guess, at some level, determine somebody's ability to pay bail, but for the most part, most part, bail in our country, whether you are a millionaire or you are penniless, for the most part, certainly on minor crimes, you were getting the same bail.
Exactly. For example, the guy in the Bronx and the guy in Long Island or the guy in Greenwich, okay?
It was clearly discriminatory.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I believe it was a discriminatory practice for years that was nodded at and okayed, and thankfully the district attorneys have been strong enough to step up and say we're not going to do it anymore.
You know, Governor Cuomo, I have his quote here. He says,
people stay in jail.
He says
for so long.
Governor Cuomo says here, wealth should not be a factor in our criminal justice system. The Bronx DA, they're not doing it yet. I'm not sure why. But he says the Bronx DA says he supports bail reform. Richard Brown, the longtime Queens DA, he says our policy has been to seek bail when the defendant's history and the circumstances of the case warrant it.
Huh? Yeah, that's Queens gobbledygook.
Huh?
Yeah.
Come on, exactly. Queens. You can do better than that,
perpetuate the discrimination.
Right. Yeah. Now, you remember, what was the name of the guy, the young kid? All right, this all came about, if you remember, that Khalif Brown, back in 2000, this was what was his name?
Browder.
Right, Browder. He was a kid, and maybe you remember this, Squeeze. You remember this story. He was a kid who was arrested, and I don't remember what it was for. There he is. It was a minor theft offense. His parents, it was a $3,000 bail. His parents couldn't afford $3,000. He sat in jail for over 2.5 years, and there's like all sorts of videos of him getting beat up and having issues with the guards and put in solitary confinement. Never found guilty of a crime. It was never found guilty of a crime, and then he was so screwed up from all of this after he was not found guilty and sat in jail for 2.5 years that he committed suicide. Paul, we had a case where we took over just recently where a guy was in jail for almost 9 years, right? Or 8 years. What was that? David handled it recently. He was in jail for a long time, many, many years. We didn't handle the case. He was charged with a murder or something. And he couldn't get out on bail, was never found guilty of anything. They pushed off this case for 7 to 8 years. He sat in jail, charged with a serious offense, never was found guilty of anything. And then we eventually took over. I mean, it was such a travesty, okay, to sit in jail and not be found guilty of anything. And then finally, he pled guilty to time served just so we can get him out.
Yeah, it was a mistrial.
Right.
So he was in
with that bail
what?
crap.
What?
I said it just makes me angry reading all of this and hearing what Paul is saying based on what the system have been doing for years.
Yeah.
Okay. It's outright discrimination.
It is
outright discrimination.
It's another reason why you should hire an attorney immediately and as soon as possible.
Do you think, Squeeze, if they did bail, okay, based on a percentage of your income, okay, and some white Wall Street dude, okay, who gets pulled over for a DWI, gets brought down to jail, and the judge says, guess what? Your bail is 20% of your income or 30% of your income, and this guy makes $3 million, and now this guy has to put up $1 million to get out of jail. Do you know how fast bail reform would be? Okay, and then you have this poor black kid, and you say to him, okay, it's 30% of your income. Well, I don't make any money. Well, then guess what? You have zero bail.
My sentiments.
You owe me $10.
You owe me $10.
My sentiments, exactly.
Right? So, I mean, that's ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah, it was clearly a bad discriminatory practice that needed to be changed, and thankfully it's being changed.
I don't believe that it took all the way to 2018 to do it, and I still can't believe that in the city of New York, or anywhere in the country, but certainly in the city of New York where we practice law, that there's counties that still do it.
You know what?
It's archaic, and even when you're within the system to actually pay the bail, it's a forever process. They do not make it friendly. It has to be done in cash. It has to be done immediately, and when you see the judge. Otherwise, you can sit in jail for 2-3 days while you wait to get out, even if you post bail.
And then guess what? If you're an immigrant, after you post bail, you got to go to immigration and post bail a second time, and immigration's not even a criminal case. And then you sit in a criminal jail as a non-criminal who's never been found guilty of anything for 6, 9, 12 months because you can't afford the bail because you're an illegal alien and they pay you $2 an hour.
Let me give out the number.
So
all right?
ridiculous.
I just want to say, Paul Hirsh, thanks a lot for coming on the show, man, because this
Sure.
this is extremely important, this segment right here, and we want people to actually just spread the word about Paul Hirsh, a good criminal defense attorney here at the law offices of Spar and Bernstein. I'm about to give out the number just by show. Everyone who thinks that what it is that we're speaking about is extremely important, please dial the number so that we know that you're truly saving the number. Maybe not for yourself, but to pass it on to someone else. Dial the number, let it ring for 10 seconds so we know you're truly calling. And then you can hang up so we know you're saving. The number to call.
And why they're saving it is because you never know when you're going to get arrested.
Exactly.
Okay?
Right.
And crazy stuff happens every day, and you have a good lawyer saved in your phone when you get arrested. We've had people call us from the side of the road before they even got to the police station that we were meeting them there at the police station.
Right. And I've been able to arrange to have a bail bondsman in court when you first see a judge because you've made that phone call.
But you don't
right
need
away.
it for Brooklyn and New York on minor offenses anymore, thank you.
On minor offenses.
1-800.
Unfortunately, we don't only get phone calls from
Yeah,
minor.
and we're not
Correct.
condoning misdemeanors. We're
Yes.
just saying that you have
Oh.
rights, and it should be fair across
Correct.
all ethnicities,
Correct.
across all
You should
finance.
If you want to do bail, I think bail should be based on a percentage of your income. Because if you're going to say to a poor black kid it's $3,000, okay, and then you're gonna tell Harvey Weinstein, okay, some big fat rich cat who puts his hands on people, it's the same $3,000. $3,000 doesn't mean anything to Weinstein. He's out in 2 seconds. There was absolutely no meaning behind that. But to the poor black kid who has no money, he sits in jail for 2 years.
1-800-529-5465. Do me a favor, dial a number and save it. Let it ring for 10 seconds so we know that you're participating and you're sharing a number. Maybe for yourself, you never know when you're going to get arrested, and also to share it with other people when they have a run-in with the law.
Everybody's yelling. I'm yelling.
1-800-529-5465. There's nothing wrong with yelling.
I get excited.
But there's absolutely nothing
I
wrong with
get
yelling.
excited.
I've been doing it for years.
I get excited,
Okay?
Squeeze.
I like yelling
Yes.
because it implores people.
Yes.
All right? 1-800-529-5465.